Welcome to the Biz for Good Show, where we highlight misfits, outcasts, and renegades for the being good and doing good movement. We spotlight people that are changing the world by having integrity and honesty and creating an environment of connection, thus showing the true secret to success and creating a life of greater impact. So come on board and create your own Biz for Good life.
Welcome to the Biz for Good Show. I'm your host, Bobby Glenn James, along with the in the house, Ryan Pilkington. Ladies and gentlemen, Ryan Pilkington in the house. An amazing guest today. We're still playing with this crazy new format that we've come up with because we have no clue what we're doing. So all you listeners out there and folks, yeah, hopefully you'll like it. It's like we say all the time, it's our show. We'll do whatever the crap we want. If nobody listens, well, we're still having fun and we're talking to amazing, cool people. So that's what really matters, right, Ryan?
Definitely.
Definitely. So are we going to go into this new segment that you're going to talk about?
I'm just feeling a little artistic though.
You're feeling artistic?
I feel like I need to throw down some paint.
Some paint?
I don't know. We'll talk about that later. Talk about that later.
I like it.
We're gonna start with a B for G Nation news story. The good news.
Good
news. We really strongly feel that doing good in business is the ultimate success model. And we are going to share a story. We're going to try and share a story. Well, we don't try, right, Bob?
No try. Do or do not. There is no try.
No try. This comes from thegoodnewsnetwork.org. And the spotlight is on a business owner. She is Jessica Helgerson.
Helgerson.
She donates.
Jessica.
She is an interior designer and decorator.
She fixes rooms to look pretty.
Yeah.
Got it.
And she has clients, right? And she decided she wanted to help the Oregon pandemic. Well, or epidemic, not pandemic.
Whoops. Yeah, it's all, who knows what it is. This
epidemic.
We're in all kinds of stuff now.
Homeless situation in Oregon is really bad. She wanted to do something, so she created the 1% Project, and she donates 1% to go towards the homeless. And she raised, in 2019, $150,000.
$150,000. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about Biz for Good. When people see that, you want to work with people like that. You want to do stuff and connect with people that have that kind of passion and love for the human race, right?
Oh, definitely.
Cool.
So we'll put that in our show notes for you guys, and you can check it out. And the link you can check out.
Awesome. All right, let's get this party started. Tell us about our guest, man.
Yeah, you betcha. Today we have an amazing guest. She is Iggy Perillo. Did I say it right, Iggy?
Perillo?
Perillo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Perillo. Perfect.
Awesome. Iggy is a professional and works with professional athletes and specializes in communities who are seeking excellence in their work life. She created the WSL Leadership Coaching that develops leaders and teams who make the world a better place. She also works with individuals, teams, and organizations around the world, helping them overcome challenges and functions and help them function like champions. You can check her out at worksportlife.com. That is a tongue twister for
worksportlife.com. Worksportlife.com.
Thanks for being on the show.
Welcome to the show, Iggy. Welcome to the show. Well, let's can we just jump right in and let's get to know Iggy. So how did you get to be where you're at, what you're doing? Kind of give us an oversuite of Iggy's challenge in life that made you who you are. You know, something simple.
Yeah. Just the cliff notes of that, for sure. No problem. I have been working with teams and leaders in the outdoors, specifically in the wilderness, for about 20 years. So I've led expeditions in the summer and winter. A bunch of strangers show up. They don't know what they're doing. Some of them have never seen snow before. We get them together, get them like really actively working together really quickly because they fear that they're going to starve and die sometimes, but we don't. No one starves. No one's died. And,
No one. Let's make that clear. No one has starved or died.
Not on my watch. Not on my watch.
Awesome.
Yeah. And so then with like those skills of like developing leaders are really useful and meaningful. So I took that knowledge and learning and now apply it to helping folks, rising leaders or people that are underrepresented in leadership, be amazing leaders. And teams work together better too. So I work with leaders and teams both.
Why'd you do that? What made you go? Where did you what was the insight that said, "Oh man, this is what I'm supposed to do with my life"?
I think leaders have such impact on the world around them, and literally, like, you can do stuff, you have power, great, but also on the people on their teams with them. I did sports kind of through high school and into college a little bit growing up, and teams that had good leadership, it was amazing to be there. Everyone was driven, everyone did so much. And teams where the leadership was not good, in even a sporting sense, you're like, ugh, I don't even want to go to practice. This is terrible. And so our lives, as the teammates was affected. And so I've been thinking about how to maximize my impact is to get those leaders to be amazing people so they can maximize their impact out there, making the world a better place. So it really comes from personal experience of being on some so-so and some kind of crappy and some kind of awesome teams. And so seeing how those leaders function, how they work, really inspired me to get more voices into leadership and more people leading better, because then they can do amazing things. It's just amplification of awesomeness.
I love it.
I love your energy.
Yeah. Do you have a specific leader that just blew you away in your past? I mean, we've had a lot of people on the show, and there's always been this person. Is there somebody that, because you said you know what it's like, and I think we've all been around bad leaders. And when you're around a good leader, it just shines you. You want to be a better human being. Do you have an example of a person like that in your life?
I don't have a one example. I'm like a pick and chooser. I'm like, oh, I really love how this person communicates. I'm like, oh, I've been with someone who's like such an amazing ability to organize the people around them, and someone else who is just so inspiring. So I don't think I've yet to find the one person that is everything ever, but I think that's not a bad thing. I think I would rather pick the best of the best of the best from everyone. Everyone I've worked with, everyone I've met, like, they have amazing abilities, amazing skills. Sometimes they're under the radar, but sometimes if you can just get those out there, it's just, the impact is obviously on me and then on the rest of the world through whatever they do, whatever I do. So I don't have a single person, unfortunately. I know it'd be awesome if I did be like, oh yeah, my high school history teacher who was amazing, but then I'm like, well, yeah, a little bit my high school history teacher, and a little bit like my boss at my first job, and a little bit this piece of MLK because he's cool, and a little piece of like all these people in the world. So yeah, I try to not be too attached to any one person, I guess.
No, which is good. I like that. How about this? Can I put you on the spot for just a second?
Sure.
Okay,
we're kind of on the spot.
Yeah, she's on. Well, yeah, she's in the spotlight, right?
Good leave.
So we're talking about we actually talk about leadership quite a bit on the show, off the show. We have like a leadership, or we've had in the past a leadership piece of the show. I want to ask you, if you had to only pick one thing that a leader needed, that one thing that the leader needs, what would that be?
Wow.
I know.
Today
You're making
I'm
it
going to
easy.
go with the skill of validation, validating other people's ideas and thoughts. Like, if a leader can do that well, they can do anything. They don't have to agree. They don't have to like take in every idea and be like, oh, we're doing that. But if a leader can validate other people's ideas, impressions, other people's feelings, they're going to really go places.
That's really good, because validation is huge.
It is. And I've heard in the past people crushed because of somebody not doing that well, or doing it the opposite, that just really that really has an impact on somebody's life in a pretty negative way. So I think we talk about words all the time. I wrote a book called 8 Wisdoms, and one of those wisdoms is words, and they can destroy or they can build.
Bobby does not like the word help.
I don't like the word help or try. I'm not a big fan of those wah words.
I have this fun activity. Maybe you can feel free to do this. when someone says like, oh, I'm gonna try and do whatever, I'm gonna try that. I put something out in front of them, physical if we were nearby. I'm like, hey, try and pick up that pencil, and they're like, they go reach it and pick it up. I'm like, no, don't pick it up, just try to do it. And then so they do this like, I'm like, yeah, exactly. Trying's nothing. Thanks.
Yeah, try it.
To actually get stuff done.
Yeah, I say.
I have them act out trying. It's very funny.
I love it. That's awesome.
It's very comedy.
I tell people, no one has ever succeeded that said I tried. Never. No, because you don't. If you did it, you wouldn't say I tried to do it. You would say I did it.
It's a pat on the back for failure.
Yeah.
I tried. Yeah, right there.
I love it. Oh, Iggy, you're amazing. Where are we going, Ryan? I've been going down my own little path here today.
I wanted to know, like, what did you play sports or any sports that you played that you enjoyed?
What was your favorite?
I enjoyed all of them. I love participating in sports. I mean, and so there's like the team sports. In high school, I did all of them I could. I did volleyball and basketball and softball and track sometimes.
Did you?
And then in college.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, did you try curling?
Curling.
We didn't have curling, unfortunately. It's such a bummer.
That is crazy to watch.
It is. It looks. I'm a fan of the Olympics. I've seen, like, I get into the Olympics. I'm like, curling's out, I'll watch it. I want it. Like, I want all the sports.
It's mesmerizing. It's like they're hypnotizing you.
Yeah, so smooth. Just like gliding across. I would be the amateur, just like wiping out and falling on my butt.
Yeah, me too. So go ahead. And then in college, you said.
Oh, in college, I did some rugby and ultimate and softball in college.
Rugby.
And then since then, I've moved on to more of the lifetime sports: canoeing, running.
Oh, there you go.
Climbing, skiing. Some of those more less teamy things, I guess, a little bit. Canoeing's a little bit of a team sport, but yeah.
Right.
My daughter played volleyball in high school. I freaking loved that sport. It's
so fast.
bad.
Fast.
It is.
Yeah.
I'm not a big sports guy, man. I can't watch football or basketball or baseball, but volleyball, dude, it's just all go all the time. And jumping for it.
Spectating sport. Recommendation: if you want to watch a sport, watch roller derby. It's amazing.
Oh, dude!
Roller derby
Me and my wife have been going to the roller. Well, we did before the pandemic. The pandemic hit, and it messed everything up. But my wife has a roller derby shirt. Dude, we love it. It is bad to watch. Once you figure out exactly how they make points, and they have the runner and the people. It's a cool sport. I'm with you on that.
Nonstop energy, nonstop action.
Yeah,
I love it.
going.
Yeah,
me too.
I'm more of a badminton guy.
Badminton.
Also, like, Olympic badminton is epic. I didn't know they just like float. Like, it's so.
And they're getting into it too. Have you seen Olympic badminton? Yeah. Oh wow. We're going off. Sorry, it's like we're just having fun with you, dude. This is great.
That's all. I can talk sports all day. I love it.
And so, because of that, I'm curious. So that's what you focus on is getting people, you use what you learned in sports to assist like executives, or
like Bear Grylls?
Is that how it works?
Bear Grylls?
Yeah.
Not exactly like that. A little
Eating
bit
eyeballs.
yes, a little bit no. I work sometimes with different actual teams. So any team's a team, right? They could be a sport team. They could be a business, a unit of a business or a corporation. So, but really, if they're working well together, the same things are present. There's psychological safety, there's communication, there's information flow, there's people understanding their role, there's people shared values, shared goals, shared outcomes. And I think those are the same any kind of team you're on. So I have actually worked with roller derby teams, for example, but also with teams within organizations that are, it's like the whatever department, pick any department you want. And they need these same kind of things to communicate and flow and work together so that they can just do more than anyone individually. So yes, sort of yes and no to all of your questions, but also I work with individuals in like maybe leadership teams and those kind of core decision maker crews. Because a lot of organizations are, it's like the president, the VP, this, that, the head, the committee chair, whatever it is from that type of organization are really the power holders and decision makers. So I work with those kind of core teams as well as literally competitive or just organizational team units.
That's exciting. Is that, that's kind of so you would consider yourself a coach? Is that?
I don't love the word coach. I consider myself a leadership educator. I would rather educate and then people can take that and go and versus
Hurrah,
I work with people
hurrah.
over time for sure, but yeah, it's just semantics. Words, as you may have said
Absolutely.
earlier 5 minutes ago, the words matter. So I put myself in that educator camp more.
I like that. Thank you for that. There's bazillion coaches.
I know. If nothing else, I have something different on my business card. So.
There you go. I like it. Well, so should we do the wheel? Should we go? The wheel of crazy.
Challenge. We used to have a Google challenge, but we're no longer doing that.
Okay, we're gonna spin the wheel, folks.
Bring up the will. So on this will, Iggy, we have put a bunch of questions, random questions concerning business. And for example, we have, when did you become the expert? And some of these ones like that one. So
Are you ready, Iggy?
Yeah, I just can't see it on my screen, so you just have to tell me what it is.
Oh,
But
we
I'm
will.
on board. I'm ready.
Okay.
We'll tell you.
I'm sure you will.
Go for it.
Okay, we are now spinning the wheel. Wheel is being spun. Red, blue, red, green, yellow, or green. Oh.
This one comes up a lot.
Any regrets on business deals?
Since this has been done last episode, you can skip this and we can spin again. If
What? Really?
Yeah.
This was.
We had it. It's an option. It's not. It's not.
How do you feel, Iggy? Do you have any regrets?
I defer to you. I could answer, or you could spin, or
Go for it.
both,
I
or-
think this is a good one to understand. So, Iggy, I would say any business regrets.
This is a great question. I think there was a time when I was younger and were developing my business where I tried to do too much that wasn't really authentic to me. And I think this is a classic problem. People are like, oh yeah, no problem, I can do that. No problem, I can do that. No problem, I can do that. And I think I got myself into a situation where I'm like, I'm a little like, I don't mind pushing my growth and, being out there on the edge of my learning and what I can offer people. But I think there's a time comes to mind when I'm like, I should dial it back. I may have overpromised a little bit. And so it was more on me to be better on so I regret overpromising in that situation. I think in the end it worked out fine. We got what we needed to do. We moved on, it worked out. But I think I could have done a better job of setting expectations at the beginning.
I like that. I think in the future, we always learn from that stuff, so it's good to have it. That's why I like that question, because usually we learn so much more from the, I wish I did something different ones than, man, I rocked that. I knocked that out of the park. You just don't learn that much from that. I mean, as cool as it is to knock it out of the park, you just don't learn as much. Awesome.
Double dare? Do you want to spin again?
Oh, double dare. Yeah, we need to go. We need to go one more round. Are you up for it, Iggy?
Yeah, I love it. This is great.
All right, let's do the next one. Red, green, blue, yellow. Another green. Ooh. Go ahead, Ryan.
Would you give advice to do the same thing or tell your clients them differently?
So
this is an interesting question.
So the question is to kind of, it's not written well because I wrote it.
Yeah. You made me
So
read
what
it.
the question is, would you tell your clients to do the same thing you did, or do you tell them to do something differently because of what you learned from doing what you did?
I would say 100% differently from what I did. They need to be on their own path, on their own way, doing things that are going to be meaningful and authentic to them. And what's authentic to me is definitely not necessarily authentic to them. So 100%, whenever I work with folks, it's really about what they need and what they want, not about how I got to where I am. And I can offer ideas. I'm like, hey, I try this, think of this, well, maybe blah, blah, blah. But really, it's about them and what they need and what they want, which has usually not exactly, they're not the same as me. We're different people.
I love that, because that's a real mentor. People, when we talk about mentors should not be there to tell you what to do or to tell you, I did this and you should do it too. That's not what a good mentor does not do that. A mentor is someone who's had an experience in the past and can give you advice, but then you have to take your own road. So thank you for that. I think that is super powerful. I just learned something. Awesome. All right, let's
Last
question. So we like to
almost last.
yeah, almost last question. We want to ask you, how do you feel about goals? What do goals mean to you? And let's just talk about goals for a second. We everybody on the show kind of has their own thoughts and ideas about goals. We're going to ask Iggy. What do you think about that? What does it mean to you?
I think I'm of two minds for goals. I think they can be useful, and I think they can also be just like trying, like, well, I had a goal, and I accomplished it, and it was stupid, and then who cares? So I think there's some goal acronyms that I really actively dislike some of the goal acronyms. I'm sure people love, and they're like, it's a SMART goal, it's a this goal, it's a that goal. Cool. But a lot of those acronyms, one of the letters, like the A often for SMART goal stands for attainable. Like if I'm doing something that's already attainable, how am I growing? How am I learning? I could always just do that. I'm just scheduling. Like that's like what was the point of that as a goal? But then if I'm a fan of Charles Duhigg's book, Better, Faster, Smarter, I think is the title. I'll look that up. But he talks about stretch goals and how if you try to do something more than you think is even attainable, you're going to make so much more progress than doing something that you can do. You just need to put your mind to it, kind of thing. I would rather set people up to stretch and grow and potentially fail or not achieve the thing or not have that, mountain moment than be like, cool, we just bagged 4 peaks that were 2,000 feet high versus, well, Mount Everest, that's not for you. I'd rather people try to climb Mount Everest than hold themselves back and keep themselves playing small. So that's where I think the value of goals is. Go big.
Yeah. I remember also reading a book, and the person was talking about you should have that shoot for the moon goals and then have all this other thing that connects with that. And I thank you for bringing that up, because I love, if it's attainable, then let's pick it up. Let's get it out there. The key, the sad part about goals, I think for me is, my dad used to tell me, wishing is like you wish in one hand or poop in the other. Which one gives you more stuff? And I kind of feel like we use goals as this wish list, and we don't do jack about it.
We need to put that on a T-shirt.
Poop in one hand, wish in the other. Which gives you more? Yeah, my dad would love that. He'd be laughing in the afterlife. That'd be great. Cool. Well, awesome. Any last words about goals and stuff, or about what you do and why you do it? We just kind of want to understand your, this is the Biz for Good show. Go ahead.
Want to participate in the program, how they get started or anything like that?
Yeah. Action items for our listeners. Sure.
Yeah, I have sort of 3 things that I'm doing right now that I'm focused on. One is called the Leadership Ecosystem Lunch. It's just a free lunch gathering. I bring people together. They are interested. It's a fun mix of people. We hang out for an hour and connect and celebrate and rejuvenate. Like leaders need some of that too. Thing 2, I have our master classes that are leadership skills. And these are emotionally intelligent leadership skills. So like validation, things like that, where you're like, oh, I actually need to relate with people versus, I'm just going to throw down some strategy and vision and call it a day, so it's very interactive. So leadership skills master classes. And then ongoing groups I have are leadership masterminds. So bringing together small groups of people to engage in really personal, transformative leadership experiences over time. So those are the 3 things I'm doing.
Are these online too, or are they all face to face?
And actually, my website changed since I communicate with you. So I'm at wslleadership.com, because for the very reason you mentioned, worksportlife.com is a huge mouthful. So just wslleadership.com is where they can find all the things.
But I did put in work, and it went.
No, you got it.
Still goes. So people, the lunch, you can even go to lunch remotely, and everybody can connect to it.
It's definitely not in person.
Ah, very good, very good. Where are you located? We forgot. We usually ask that about at the beginning.
Oh, I'm just over here in Portland, Oregon. I actually have heard of the 1%, the woman you mentioned at the top. Like,
well,
I'm
how
like,
about that?
I have not met her, but I've heard of her, because it is, as you aptly mentioned, homeless, unhoused people it's problematic when people don't have homes.
Yes. Wow. I love that area up there. It's so beautiful. You guys, it's so beautiful up there.
Yeah, I was just up there a couple years ago.
Oh man, it's so cool. So cool. Well, awesome. Anything else, Ryan? We got, we're still learning this new format, which is not
tips and tricks.
Tips and tricks.
I mean, not tricks.
Tips and tricks.
Tips and tidbits.
Tips and tidbits. I don't know. I have no clue what you're talking about, right?
Any tips or things the listeners...
Oh, yeah. Do
Not
we have
tricks. That's
do you have
show.
any tips
Sorry.
or any last action item or gold nugget that you can give our listeners?
Or tricks.
I would say they can lead authentically. They don't have to lead like anyone else leads.
Ooh, that is a great drop the mic moment.
Yeah, if I had to drop the mic button.
We talk about this a lot. The only way to get above the noise in this world now is to be authentic. It's all you have to be engaging and connecting. Because when you're fake, everybody knows it. When you're doing things you may get some attention when you do those crappy things we all know on social media that gets attention. Hey, look at me, and you say something, horrible or crappy or whatever. But authenticity is how you grow a movement and you create something great. So thank you for bringing up authenticity, because I think that's a great way to end this. Iggy, it's been our pleasure to be on the show. Can you tell people? I know you told the website, but is there how do they find you in other places? LinkedIn, all that stuff. How do they get a hold of you? We'll put it in the show notes and stuff.
Yeah. I'm basically on all the social media at WSL Leadership. Instagram, Facebook, the places. Pinterest. I have a library of articles on Pinterest. You'll find no pictures of food or interior design on my Pinterest. It's all articles and things I've read that I think will be useful. My website, WSLleadership.com has what I'm doing, what I'm up to, lunch, newsletter, the usual things. And really, my email address is on my website. It's Iggy at WSL Leadership. Feel free to drop me a line. I enjoy communicating and talking with people because people's needs are unique and special, and I would rather listen and validate those and be present for people than try and just be like, hey, read an article, hey, do a thing. Like, cool. If you have something you need in the leadership world, I would love to talk.
I love it. Awesome. Well, thank you, Iggy, so much for being on the show. Hey, we want to start mentioning we have a new thing coming up, the U6MG, and we want to start talking about that at the end of the show here pretty soon. So because
U6MG.
What is you ask Ryan, what is U6MG?
What is that?
Go to u6mg.com and you can find out. Is that putting you on the hanger? Okay, it's Ultimate 6-Month Goal is what it stands for. Your Ultimate 6-Month Goal. It's about making a goal and then making action steps to actually get that goal instead of making a wish or a dream or whatever. The problem with goals is you have a goal that's useless unless you have action items and ways to get there. So anyway, U6MG, be looking for it, Ryan. I just thought I'd mention it.
I will.
You going to take us out?
Yeah. We always end the show with a hashtag, be good, do good. We say it 3 times. We get crazy or loud on the 3rd time. You can join us, Iggy.
Yep. You can join us.
Or you can look at us.
Or you can just look at us.
Oh,
my gosh.
Yeah. What a weirdo. All right, here we go. Hashtag, be good, do good.
Hashtag, be good, do good. Hashtag, be good, do good. Yeah. Oh, that was awesome.
And that's a wrap.